I'm going to bring our next guest
That
right
was
on.
fun.
Jump right on, like no break at all, Elise. Rachelle, you guys.
I'm digging those glasses. I'm gonna go bold. Are you ready? I'm a little like, this is going outside my comfort zone. Oh, I don't know if I can even do it. Are you ready?
Oh, I love it.
Do you?
Yeah. I'm obsessed with glasses. I was resisting them for a long time. Now I'm like collecting like all kinds of different colors and
Are they like just not too crazy?
I love them.
I was inspired by one of our guests. Remember, she had, I have to think of her name. She told me where to get them. Not Sveta. Oh. I know I look like Sveta, but it was another woman who was on. But your glasses just reminded me. I have those too.
So you guys remember each other, by the way? You gals remember each other? You met each other
in San Diego?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the bLU Talks.
Oh my gosh! I knew you looked familiar. Okay, I did it, but these are better for me to see.
You were both in the same energy in San Diego. And
oh my gosh, I do. How are you? I thought, well, maybe you were on another
glasses. Oh, there you are.
Now I can see you, really. Oh, wow. Well, good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. So where are you?
I'm in San Diego, North County area of San Diego. And it's a beautiful day, like always, in San Diego.
My son is in Ocean Beach right now.
Oh, nice.
Yes, he's one of those, RV vans that moves at 2 a.m. and stays overnight and sells, rings and is happy right now. So I'm like, great. Yeah.
So you might not remember this, Rachelle. So Rachelle was volunteering that day for us, and Elise was the person that showed in the RV, and so she had to find parking with an RV. So Elise spoke on the stage about mind seeds that day.
Flipping your script. Yeah, I totally remember. You were like the producer. You were like making it all happen.
I was just hanging out doing whatever needed to be done. It was awesome.
Well, you owned your producer.
And so, of course, Rachelle, where we start, we'd like to get to know the person a little bit. So usually I get the person themselves to take it away and tell us a little bit about themselves, their backstory for those that may be discovering them for the first time. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so San Diego's been my hometown. I grew up here. My dad was in the Navy, so I was in a military family, and luckily we didn't get moved. We stayed here. And after high school, I really was into kind of like the medical field. I was a trainer in high school and, took CPR and like all these classes. And I really was drawn to like medical. And I became a lifeguard and then took my EMT, and then I became a paramedic. So I was a paramedic for 6 years for the city of San Diego, running around in an ambulance and trying to save lives and all kinds of crazy things that I saw. And the contract was coming up for bid, and many of us were going to lose our jobs. So a lot of people started going back to school. Most gravitated towards med school, RN, those things. And I took a forensics course and got hooked. And I ended up working in a crime laboratory I completely switched careers, worked in a lab in North County, and then got hired with San Diego Police Department and worked with them for over almost 18 years. And I was working with them, and I was really at the height of my career. I was on a really prestigious forensics board. I was doing research and teaching and speaking all over the country. And one day I was flying back from this board meeting, and I decided I was done. And I took a leap and I quit, gave my 2 weeks notice, and I just jumped into the entrepreneurial world, swimming like crazy. And and I knew there was just something more for me. And prior to me quitting, I really started doing my personal development work on my inner limiting beliefs and really meditating, tapping into my intuition. And that was truly, I think, the thing that was a catalyst for me at quitting and finding out what my purpose and passion was and my why. So that was it was 4 years ago this May. And, I've been doing an arrayment of different jobs. When I first jumped out, it was like, okay, what am I going to do? I hired a coach, help me figure it out. And then it shifted, 2 or 3, 4 or 5 times. And then this last year during the pandemic was really when I when I truly found, I feel I found my why. And so it's been a fun journey and an interesting one. And I've loved all the careers that I've done, but I'm so incredibly grateful that I took that leap and jumped into this world, and I've never looked back.
I love that. Life is a buffet, and you just decided that you wanted more. You wanted to try more choices on the buffet.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, what's amazing, one of the common themes, we've talked about the themes this week, and every time we do this, there's different themes. But I'll tell you the underlying theme for me is synchronicity. Because, Elise and I are sitting here and we talked yesterday about how we met. But then, Elise, you would know this, but Rachelle and I, it's kind of neat. Somebody from Vegas connected us.
Yeah.
And Michelle did a bit of subcontract work for me, but we were connected that way. And then we kept talking. And then when we were bringing bLU Talks to town, I said, hey, would you be interested in coming with us and visiting us at bLU Talks? And, here we are now. She's a part of bLU Talks, writing, bLU Talks in the bLU Talks books and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, it all started from somebody said, hey, I know somebody that might be interested in doing this. Do you have a need for this?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like, there's three people here, and the synchronicity, and then the fact that now you guys are connected, both already have been in San Diego together at the same time, and now here. I mean, to me, it's just, if we recognize synchronicities exist, we're going to have more of them. And I'm hoping what people see as they listen to these interviews is how many synchronicities.
Oh, totally. Well, and the other thing too is, like, I was trying to find my why, and you wrote the book of why and how. And so, it really kind of looped me back. Even though I was working for you, it looped me back into, connecting in that way with your book and a couple other books to really help me figure that out.
Wow, you manifested a double why.
I did.
Well, here, we'll just give it to you in writing too.
It's amazing. But I mean, like I said, the reason I'm so big on the synchronicity thing is because I didn't believe in it for much of my life. So now that I see it and witness it happening so often, I'm like, I want everybody to know that this thing is real. It's not just all these random coincidences that all just happened that way.
Absolutely. And we play an intricate role in creating these. Like, we can actually summon them. We can be in a frequency. It's like tuning into a station. So once you recognize that it is a thing, that they are, that it's those moments occur and the interactions show up, and then you're like the star of that, and you can actually be like the player. It's like this real-time virtual reality interactive way of living. Remember the game of life?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember there was a wheel.
Yeah.
It was the game. So I see all of this, recognizing the synchronicities, the miracle, being the miracle to recognize the miracle. Like, that's the miracle. Miracles are everywhere, but the real miracle is the ability or that connection to and recognizing and believing it as a miracle.
Now,
and so,
I was going to say the key thing as well, just to add one more thing onto the synchronicity, because I know we'll jump off it soon, is the key thing is you also not only have to believe they exist and summon them, but you also have to recognize, and this was a hard part for me, they don't show up in the way you always think they will.
I almost missed it. Sometimes it's like, this is not what I thought it was going to look like.
Or it didn't work. I wanted to have a New York Times bestselling book, and I didn't get it. Yeah, but you landed a TED Talk that allowed you to impact X amount of people. Maybe you asked for the New York Times, but the universe said, that's not you. We've decided that's not your alignment. This one is. But so many people give up because they're like, I asked for the TED Talk, it didn't, or the New York Times book, it didn't show up. So I think it's also recognizing that just because you ask for it in a certain way, you still might get it. It just might look the way you think it should.
Yeah, and I found, like, meditating, my inner voice gets really, especially when I'm doing it consistently and regularly and, for longer periods of time, it gets really loud. So I remember before I quit my job, I was sitting next to this guy at this, I went to go see this personal development speaker, and I didn't know why, but I'm like, I know I need to get his number or his contact information. And sure enough, he's the person several months later that was at WeWork down the street when I quit my job, and I ended up connecting with him, and he really helped me, like, in that transition period. So, and that was like a year before I had even quit. So yeah, there's so many, and there's, when you see them and recognize them and realize why, then it's awesome.
So I want to circle back to what you do, Rachelle, but I will tell you guys, I just watched rewatched Mark Nixon. If you remember him, he spoke at the.
Oh, I love Mark. He's so awesome.
His talk was brilliant. And for context for people, Mark's in a wheelchair, and it was from a car accident that he had. And he shared the story on stage, and I just watched it again. And he talked about how whenever he was lying there after the car accident, and he only had a limited amount of time to be picked up and taken to the hospital, there was like an off-duty ambulance that was traveling in the direction, got the call and went there. There was a nurse who went and worked on him who was like visiting her mother or something like 20 minutes away. Mm-hmm. Like all those things, if they didn't happen in that way, he says, and the doctors say, he wouldn't be here today. Yeah. So there was clearly a purpose, like there was something had to be behind that. What are the odds of the coincidence of the ambulance and the nurse both being within an hour of him and getting the call? Yeah. So I just want to recognize that there might be such thing as what we think are coincidences. Maybe they're probably just the smaller ones that maybe don't have as much meaning to us. But I really believe that these synchronicities are happening every day, whether we acknowledge it or not. Mm-hmm. And they're working for us, whether we acknowledge them or not. But if we do acknowledge them, we're going to see them more often. I just want to leave it there. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, Rachelle, before we go learn more about the work you're doing.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I think it's totally true. And I probably have recognized more of those since I quit my job. I think there were seeds being planted before, but again, the more inner work I did, the more then I was able to see certain things. So, yeah.
Love it. And so tell us about your work. You said you've uncovered your why, so maybe let's dive in a bit to that as well.
Yeah. So I help clients amplify their voice, their brand, their message through various media platforms. So I've been supporting a lot of speakers right now and business owners and entrepreneurs being on podcasts because, last year everything kind of paused as far as live events and things were shifting and nobody really knew what was going and they were waiting. And so podcasts kind of became like a hot platform for people to be on. So I was really supporting a lot of people and I still am getting onto podcasts. And then also, I am a musician. I love music.
I was going to ask about the guitars behind you. And if, I'm like, she's got to be something with music.
And, I've always loved music. I was in the church choir when I was a little girl. And after high school, I took guitar in high school. I took a little after high school. And then, I kind of played around a little bit, but didn't really take it seriously. And then when in my 40s, I found my guitar instructor who was somebody I played with in high school, and he had a studio about 10 minutes from my house. And so I started taking lessons from him. And after we took lessons for a while, he was like, you need to start writing music. And I kind of laughed because I was like, I don't know how to write music. Like, I'm not a songwriter. I just want to learn how to play guitar. And fast forward, he gently nudged several times. And then I started to just play around and write. And I actually wrote some songs. And this kind of like wraps into my why because my sister was very sick with colon cancer about 3 years ago. And unfortunately, she passed away battling a 2.5-year battle. And the day after she passed away, I started writing a song about my interpretation of her colon cancer journey. And I didn't know what would happen with that song. Mark and I, my guitar instructor, put music to it. We sang it at our celebration of life. And it was beautiful. And I knew I wanted to help in some way with bringing colon cancer and awareness to others because my sister was young. Her symptoms were initially ignored because of her age. And so this last year, I remember I was sitting here at my desk and it was one of those moments like when I was trying to find my why and I was like, why am I here, God? Like, just like, show me some signs. And instantly, like within, I swear, a minute, Stories Through Music came through. And I had no idea what that meant at that time, but I made a note of it. I looked up the domain. It was open. I bought it. And then I just kind of left it at that. I didn't know what was going to happen with it. And so last year, to bring awareness to colon cancer, I actually took my sister's song, created a lyric video with colon cancer statistics and facts, and then used that as a tool to share my sister's story and to bring colon cancer awareness to others. So March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. So we've been, doing a lot as far as like advocating for people to get screened and why it's so important because they truly do save lives. And so that kind of like really was the tail end of like me helping people amplify their voice in different ways. But really where my heart and passion is marrying music with, sharing a message in a different way. So I took that and that's how I've been advocating for colon cancer awareness is through music. So through that song that I wrote for her.
Can you play it for us?
Can I play it for you? Yeah.
That'd be nice. Let's have some music. Come on. Let's.
Do you want me to play the recording of it, or
I'd like you to play it live if you're like, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I mean, come on, girl. You got the guitars behind you. You got like the broad audience. Is that okay, Corey?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
I can.
Come on, girl. We're giving you the stage.
Well, and while she's getting set up, I have a question for you, Elise.
Sure.
I have an interview that I have at the top of the hour, right at the very top. Are you okay if we run a minute or two over if I jump onto my other interview and you finish things off? You close things
or she could play her song and we'll get her contact stuff and we still have 20 minutes, right?
Okay.
All right. I don't know how this is going to go.
Yes, absolutely. Anything for you, Corey.
Okay.
I'm here
well,
for you.
We'll aim to finish right on time and I'll jump right over to the other one.
Yeah, we'll just tell everyone we love them now. We love you. And when we like end at 3, we're just already letting you know that we'll see you tomorrow.
And we still love you.
Right.
Tomorrow at 12 Eastern.
And we appreciate all of you.
Yes, 100%.
I love your chair, Rachel.
Thanks.
Is that a cow chair?
It is. It's a fake cow chair, obviously, but it's a lot of fun.
It is fun. I love it.
The theme in this room here. Okay, so this is a song I wrote for my sister. It's called "Fueled by Faith," and this was just my interpretation of her colon cancer journey, and I used a lot of words that she had posted on social media, and she was a big advocate, when she was alive, as far as getting screened and stuff. So. You get dealt the hand you didn't know. You're up for the fight, don't let it show. It ain't gonna bring me down, gonna lock it up and shut it down. No time, let's get this treatment on the road. Gonna knock it down and I won't let it show. It won't get the best of me. I'll fight the fight until I'm free. Fueled by faith, God's in control. Unwavered fight, it's in my soul. My road is turned and now I see. My job is done, don't cry for me. Here I am a few years down the road. Keep taking hits, but I won't let it show. Some doubts creeping in me now. I give it to God and settle down. When you get news that things could really end, I still smile for all my family and friends. I know that they'll be okay. I've made my mark, I'm on my way. Fueled by faith, God's in control. Unwavered fight, it's in my soul. My road is turned and now I see. My job is done, don't cry for me. Fueled by faith, God's in control. Unwavered fight, it's in my soul. My road is turned and now I see. My job is done, don't cry for me. Don't cry.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. Can I ask you what your sister's name is?
Juanita.
Juanita. So she's here with us. I just got goosebumps all over. That's beautiful. And you have a beautiful voice.
Oh, thanks. I haven't warmed up, and I was kind of like,
wow, you did that. That was beautiful.
Yeah, it's as a musician, I could say it's sometimes hard when we get kind of thrown, hey, will you play right now? And you're not warmed up. And it's, if it wasn't such a meaningful song, if it was you jamming, I would have grabbed my guitar too. But I also saw you had your capo on, so I would have had to change everything. But
yeah, thank you so much. That was so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So I, have now tapped into songwriting as a way for me to heal, express myself, and kind of create some music. And so it's been a lot of fun, and I hope to do that for others, take their stories into a song and help them bring awareness to something that they are very passionate about, or a cause, or, whatever it may be.
That is the first that I've ever heard of utilizing your gift and your purpose to create music for people.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. It's so interactive and different and unique. And we have pictures, we have stories, we have videos and all that. But to create a song in honor of something or in honor of someone.
Yeah. And, when I did my own outreach, I reached out to all these colon cancer awareness groups, foundations, charities. And I just shared my video, and I was like, I really want to share my sister's story because it's important for me to bring awareness to getting screened. And the response was really amazing. I had people write me back saying they watched it and they cried, and they, there's a lot of emotion, tied into song and music, but then you tie somebody's story to it and it makes it very real. And then you tie facts and statistics or something that you're advocating for, and it just kind of ties the whole thing together. And so, that's what I discovered this last year.
Oh my gosh. So I got all these guests are bringing up all this stuff in me. I'm being more vulnerable than ever, Corey. It's happening right here live. So I know we have a short time. I'm going to make it really quick, but Manatee Landing Retreat is we haven't really shared this story yet with the world. And I'm assuming, I'm intending that that Elliot's okay with me sharing this story. But so 2 years ago on Labor Day, we got a call and found out that Elliot's sister and brother-in-law died in a boat fire in the Channel Islands, and them and 37 other people who were environmental scientists and biologists and marine biologists were on this vessel, and they had the dive of their life, and they all transitioned. So we were already starting to RV cross country. I'm not going to get involved in all that, but we're here at Manatee Landing Retreat. We are changing lives. We are creating happy vibes together as a community. Somebody was here today, and they're like, this is kind of like the speakeasy of retreats. You kind of have to find out from someone who's been there, and then you come. And I mean, we're on Airbnb, but the point is that this space is in honor of Adrian's memory, because she fell in love with manatees, and that started her journey as an environmental scientist and a marine biologist. And she has changed and written guidelines and bylaws for scientific and marine biology research all over the world, and left an impact. And talk about synchronicities, Corey, the way that this showed up, and it wasn't available, and it was under contract, and we were going here. And so we are creating a nonprofit and an organization to give back in her name. But Manatee Landing Retreat is really Adrian's guiding this whole journey on how this is unfolding. And I would love to talk to you about writing a song in honor of her memory and Manatee Landing, and just how everything unfolded. So I'd love to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Because it's such a beautiful gift, I think, to lend to this space in her memory.
Yeah.
In her honor, really. I mean, she's still here. I'm like, stuff shows up. People are showing up. I'm like, always, thank you, Adrian. I'm like, thanks for being on it. You have a way better overview of everything that's happening. So she's really guiding the space.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what came up for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to support, like, there's so many foundations, charities, like nonprofits that started for a reason. You know, they started because of somebody or because of an experience or something very powerful that made them create this, business and this, thing that other people can be a part of and then contribute to and make the world a better place. So yeah, I mean,
our coming out song story, like, so we're gonna like share the story more publicly as we kind of grow and settle into the space. I think it would be beautiful to have like a coming out song for Adrian, attached to the retreat. Gonna have fun with it. When we started our journey cross country, we just hashtag celebrate Adrian and Andrew celebrate life, because they were celebrating their life and they transitioned in a moment of they were doing what they loved with who they loved, and it was really a gift. And so that was the story, but that's what it inspired in me. Like, I get it. Like, I see the gift that you have to give the world through song.
So I want to add something in when we talk about this, and I'll also add in, I saw a side comment that somebody didn't put publicly, but they said, wow, I'm learning so much. This is incredible. Thanks, Rachelle. So I just wanted to share that. I want to also add that I know only one other person that's doing what you're talking about doing, and I feel like called that I should maybe connect you with them just to see whether there's synergies or whether you can learn from their path. They're a very giving person. And what they do, a little different take on it, but what they do is companies hire them as a speaker. And what they also do is they'll bring in a workshop where they actually write a song about the company in real time.
Oh, yeah.
So
you told me about that.
Yeah, so they do it for companies. I think I think mostly do it for corporations or companies.
Yeah.
So they'll write a song about their experience or the company or what have you, or the company will say, we want a song about this, customer service, whatever, and they write that. But it's similar enough, but also different enough that I feel like called to connect you guys at some point. So keep me honest on that. But that's the only person I know doing it. So you're onto something unique.
Where can we find you? Where can other people like reach out to you and with their experience or their journey?
So I'm on social media. You can reach me at Rachelle Babler on Facebook and LinkedIn. And my website is www.rachellebabler.com.
I called you Rachel. Sorry, Rachelle.
That's okay.
So we're also
Rachelle. I get all kinds of.
But I like Rachelle. I like it. Hey, Rachelle. I'm going to pull a Kimmy. Hey, Rachelle. So could you just, again, because I want to get everything in within the time frame, is going to the comments again, also LinkedIn and YouTube and wherever else we are, but also to hop onto the platform on Facebook, the bLU Talks Flip Your Script, and share that information too.
Okay. Yeah.
This way, people who are watching the replay are able to reach out to you, as they're inspired.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. And so, Rachelle, we still do have a few minutes left. One other question. You had told me about something happened in Louisiana. Are you able to say what's happening in Louisiana yet or no?
Well, you just let it out. Now we want to know.
Well, there's a reason why she might not be able to say.
I got my formal invite on my birthday last week, which was amazing. Does that
mean you can say it or not? I don't want to put you in the spot.
They put it on Facebook, so I'm assuming I can.
Okay. Yeah.
I was invited to do my TEDx talk in Louisiana this coming October.
Woohoo, girl!
Yeah,
okay, what's the talk? Like, what's the title?
Advocating through music.
Nice.
It's going to be stemmed around that.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you'll have your guitar on stage?
I don't know if I'm going to play.
Bring it, girl. Bring it on.
I'm going to bring my guitar. I don't know
options.
Part of the talk or maybe in between. I don't know.
Or maybe, you know what I was thinking? It would be awesome if we actually streamed out with you playing the song. Like, I was thinking about it while you were playing. I'm like, oh, it would be great if it was like at the end and we kind of like went out with your song. So that could be something for your talk too.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I've watched a couple of TEDx talks with, people playing guitar and singing songs. And so we'll see.
It works. But I mean, I feel like you have to go with what feels right to you within the talk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you fully created it yet, but as you're creating it, you'll know it probably if playing a song fits right or if it fits for you at all. I mean, you could have the guitar just on the stage as the prop, and it still demonstrates what you do.
Yeah.
So do a little freestyling like I do, just kind of like feel it as it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you allowed to do that on a TED Talk?
Which part?
Well, I'm a freestyle speaker. I really never script anything. I show up. I set my intention. I get my boundary of my time limit, and it sort of unfolds as we're right there live. So is that a TED Talky thing?
Well, Rachelle as well has a lot of experience with this, and I don't know if you'll second what I say here or not. You can tell your experience. But first of all, because it's independent local organizations that are running their own TEDx, theoretically, that local organization could say, yeah, at least we trust you, wing it. They could know you really well. But for the most part, what they try to do is get a feel for what you're speaking on. A lot of them will have a speaking coach, and they want to make sure what you're going to say on that stage is going to work. A lot of them as well want an audition and to hear the bulk of your talk or some of your talk. So yes, you could do it, but it's I'm going to say more rare.
That's okay. So like Elise and Rothman and DeHood and they'll let you. I'll own the rare.
Yeah.
So there's a potential. The possibility is there.
Typically, you would see it. I feel where the organizer.
Okay.
Where they'll just then they're almost like going, okay, I trust Elise. And then they let it happen, and they don't say we didn't kind of go through and see what her talk was. But usually they want to know ahead of time.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'm excited for you. So it's when again?
October 6th in Louisiana.
Awesome.
West Monroe.
So if they're a quick turnaround, we may actually see your talk by early 2022, like super early. Because October, you maybe at the end of the year, but usually a couple of months. So
that's what I've heard.
You might have it by the end of 2021, but for sure you should have it by early 2022.
Yeah.
That's not far.
I'm excited I'm doing it live because, a lot are virtual. Some still are virtual. So
that's what's going to be my next question. So you answered it. So it is live?
It is live. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So
you can hang out in Louisiana. You're only like 8 hours away.
I assume you'd fly there, though, right? You probably wouldn't drive.
Yeah, I'd fly there, and then I thought maybe I'll go down to New Orleans after to celebrate because it's right down the street.
You know what that means? The universe decided you weren't going to get a TEDx talk until you could go back live.
Yeah,
it didn't really want to do it virtual because it wanted you to be there live.
I know. I did tell myself I want to do it live, so I've been applying since January, and got this one, so I'm excited.
That is awesome.
New Orleans is a lot of fun.
Oh, I know. It's a great music town.
All right, guys. Love you, Corey. It's almost top of the hour.
I know. So I was going to ask Rachelle one last closing question.
Yeah.
I don't want to steal Elise's. So Elise, do you want to ask your closing question before we let Rachelle run? And Rachelle, I always say to be continued. This isn't the last time. So with your permission, I'd like to say to be continued again, and let's bring you on in the future as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so seed of perspective, a mind seed of perspective that you would like to share or that you could share with our viewers and those who are going to watch the replay that they could that we could plant into our fertile mind that will help us grow more of a life we love and love ourselves in.
I think for me, it would be when you feel the pull to take a different direction, to trust it and do it and drown out all the naysayers because it's so worth it.
Because it's none of their business anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of criticism quitting my job. And, people said I was having a midlife crisis. And I told them, no, it's a midlife awakening. I know
you were having a growth spurt. I call it a growth spurt.
I never heard the other one, though, either. Midlife awakening. I like
Yeah, there you go. I love it. Totally. Yeah. You were coming into your own.
Yeah, I knew it was right for me. And then nobody else saw it, but I did. And that's all that mattered. And so just do it.
And look at you now.
Do it. And that's not a plug for Nike. All right. I'm heading out at 3 today. I have people behind these doors. They're like, yesterday, they're like, where were you? So I am going to say thank you so much, Rachelle. We will be in touch. I'm going to touch base with you like next week after this whole week. And I'm excited to see how we can create together. Yeah. Corey, I adore you. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Well, thank you so much. And to be continued tomorrow at noon, right?
Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rachelle. Like I say, we'll bring you back on. Thanks for being a great closer today. We appreciate you. You guys are both awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Corey.
And we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.